So welcome back to my series about anxiety and using yoga and breathwork to help you with the experience. I don't think I could skip over this topic because I've actually had a few students and seen some students around the neighborhood who were talking about menopause and perimenopause and how to help the hot flashes, irritability, the help with sleeping, the changes in mood, appetite, weight gain, all of those things. I want to just tell you a little story about that. When I first started to get perimenopausal symptoms, which were high level of anxiety, as well as just an overall sensitivity. I mean, I could cry at any instant. There was this sense that I just couldn't do enough. I felt overwhelmed. I felt exhausted. And there wasn't any sense that things could improve. It felt like I was just keeping up. So that's how I was experiencing perimenopause. Now at 57, I have zero symptoms. I haven't now for, I think it may be about 4 years. What happened was I decided, of course, to use yoga and see how it could help. I also started to get hot flashes. So then I knew, okay, I'm having menopausal symptoms, and I had stopped my menses, so I was in full-on menopause. So I came down to my yoga studio, and I just tuned in, went into a breath practice, and I said to my body and myself, because we are our bodies, and I just asked my body what it needed. And if you can understand this, it was like an energy started to move through my body, and I intuitively went into shoulder stand. And I'll just show you shoulder stand, just in case you need to remember what that pose is, because this one is excellent for hot flashes. I haven't had any hot flashes since. So let me just get my microphone here. You take the legs in and you bring the legs up. Now I have little hips, so it's easier for my bum to get up, but you might need to do a bit of momentum coming up. And then you walk your hands down your back and you press the legs to the ceiling and you draw the elbows in. Then you press the shoulders down and you press the head back so the throat is open. So this is shoulder stand. So let me show you some modifications, just in case shoulder stand feels out of your realm. Let's take a look at bridge. Bridge is quite great. It will have a lot of the same effects. And there's a fantastic way to do it that will help to draw the shoulder blades down. And if you come to my class, you know this one really well. You take the arms down and under, and if you can grab the feet are apart, then you hold on to the heels. Now, I'm pressing the backs of my arms down because I'm a big fan of doing that to draw the shoulders down and to activate the back of the arm muscles. So it's not that I'm trying to activate the arms, it's that I want the hands to grip so they feel pulled down away from your ears. Now, as you breathe in and out, you're pressing on the feet in all four corners of the feet and sending the knees away. So there's a length in the spine. And you let the weight of the head rest back. The gaze is to the ceiling, so the chin is not tucked. And then just wriggle the shoulder blades under, down, and towards each other. And that will give you even a more open rib cage. Now keep pressing into the feet as you send the tailbone away, so you have a lot of length from the bum to the back of the shoulders. And that feels amazing. It's a great way to get that length in the spine. And to activate a relaxation response. That relaxation response will help with hormonal regulation. It will affect the pituitary gland. And then you start to slowly come down. There's so much science I could tell you about the effects of the yoga poses, but I'll give you a break on that one and just give you some important notes that I've found personally very, very helpful. When menopause starts, the increase in sensitivity is extremely useful. I think sometimes when we think of being sensitive that it means we're not going to get our work done, or we're just going to be, too erratic and we won't be able to stay focused. But I find that the gift during menopause is that sensitivity that I experience, and I see women experience, cultivates wisdom that perhaps they didn't access before. I found that during menopause I can sense what to do on what days, and I don't even need to understand why. There will be an inherent understanding of what's relevant and the courage to put things off that I normally would have done for the family or my relationship. Like I'm realizing that there's a value to the sensitivity that I can feel very irritable is a word, but really more like I don't want to do something, and I know this is more relevant, but yet this is the highest on the to-do list. And I find if I do the activity that feels the most important, then I get my to-do list done. I think you know what I mean. So such a simple example is I'll find myself wanting to do the landscape work out in the garden, like the raking of the leaves on a certain day, and I haven't looked at the weather. And I schedule some time to do it that day, and it turns out to be the warmest, perfect day to do the leaf raking, and to get everything done. That's just a simple example. I find I'm more in touch with nature, and more in touch with the weather, more in touch with the season. And we go through seasons during menopause. We go through fluctuations. And this isn't just because of progesterone and estrogen and testosterone. It's that we're going through a reordering of what is meaningful for us. And when we enter into menopause, it's a time to be inward as much as you can, to listen to those dialing into a greater sensitivity that helps you understand how to live today, now, as you're making changes. I found that I listened to my body in a way that I would cancel what I needed to in order to honor the level of energy I had, which I could call fatigue, but it was actually a sensitivity again. I'm reminded of my neighbor. I invited them over one weekend, and they said they couldn't come because her mother had just passed, and she was staying close to home. And I thought, you're just a few doors away. She was staying close to home. She needed to have a homecoming, a sense of being inward. And that is a beautiful experience. And that's what I find gets elaborated during menopause. It might feel like that we're slowing down, but that's our ego. That's our idea of how much we need to be doing. So we might need to communicate, you think, to our families how much we can do at that time, or to our partner, and help them, keep them up to speed as to what we're doing now and how we're making changes in our schedule. I wrote some notes down. During menopause, because we have often a relationship to our body, that relationship becomes extremely relevant. And as you know, with all relationships, when you pay attention to the person you're in relationship with, it's much better because you know what's going on. It's exactly the same with the body. When we listen to the body, we're not relating to it, we're connected to it. It's an intimate relationship. And we need to have a more intimate relationship with our bodies. We need to feel what our body's indicating. It doesn't mean that we stop everything when we feel fatigue. It means that we honor how we feel fatigued and perhaps live and act more tenderly in that moment. What do I mean? I noticed yesterday I was attempting to get all the Christmas decorations up before my daughter came home, because I was taking care of her son, my grandson, and there was so much housework to do. But instead, I did what was important, what I felt like doing, and I felt energized. And I was also able to make her dinner, which I wanted to do. And then she ended up putting up all the Christmas decorations while I was upstairs after that. There's just such a tender quality to the brilliance that occurs when we listen to our bodies and what we need to change. It also becomes more fun. So let me just talk a little bit about the changes that go on during menopause, because I think it's really helpful to realize just why we're feeling crazy. So you'll find that there's certain poses that really help in yoga during menopause. And anything that is reclining, opening up the pelvic floor, opening up the low back, either in forward fold or in cooling postures where you lie back, is extremely helpful. So if you can keep those postures in mind, that'll really assist you with feeling relaxation. Now, during menopause, because the menstruation is, of course, halting, the transition can take many years, and so many people will address peri-menopause. And this will occur generally during the ages of 45 to 55. And I'm finding at 57 that I'm in full-on menopause, and I have been now for about 7 years. So we're fluctuating estrogen and progesterone, and of course testosterone. And these can trigger a myriad of uncomfortable symptoms. But once again, if we can forget that they're uncomfortable and work with how they're steering us into a gentler existence, into a gentler version of our day, informing our families or partners, how much we can do, and letting them know that we're leveraging into this need that we have to live differently, and we're figuring it out as we go. Communication is the key in our relationships when we're going through a change in our bodies, which, let's face it, is all the time. So we really do need to communicate with our partners. Among the most common symptoms, of course, are irritability, mood swings, fatigue, hot flashes, muscle soreness, weakness, just a general tiredness. Anything else? Depression, mood swings, memory lapses, absolutely. You might start to notice that a big part of your vocabulary is the word thing. Can you pick up that thing over there? We need to bring, anyways, that's something that you might notice. Few women experience all of these symptoms, but an estimated 55 to 65% of them do experience some mild menopause-related problems. And this is from Rowan Chabowski, MD, author of the Harbor UCLA Research and Education Institute in California. So about 25% report almost no disruption to their daily lives, while approximately 10 to 20% suffer severe and often debilitating symptoms. I wonder who's telling the truth there. Hormonal fluctuations generally accompany women's passages into each new biological stage of their life. You know, you think of pregnancy, you think of puberty, you think of postmenopause, you think of postpartum. There's all these changes that are going on inside our bodies, and we need to listen to what it's asking us to do. This author suggests incorporating cooling and restorative postures into your day. So here again are some poses that will really help with causing a relaxation response and also cooling the body. So there's poses that heat us up and there's poses that cool us. This one is fantastic. This can be done